Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Professor Anime, and welcome back to yet again another video here on the channel. Today I am bringing you my first impression / review of the first episode of SteinsGate 0. That is right, SteinsGate is back. So without further ado, let us jump into it. So SteinsGate has finally returned, and with this new adaptation of SteinsGate, it is essentially a true sequel to the original SteinsGate. However, it takes place before the original and true ending of the SteinsGate series. So this is essentially a spin-off from the visual novel that is, in a sense, an alternate timeline in which Hyo and Chioma was not able to save Makise Kurisu. And in this timeline, we see a totally different Hyo and Chioma. We don't know him as the Hyo and Chioma. Honestly, we just know him as Okarin. That's pretty much it, because in the original SteinsGate, he had this very flamboyant and very exaggerative persona as, you know, the mad scientist, but with, in SteinsGate 0, with Hyo and Chioma here, he completely abandons his Hyo and Chioma persona, and we just know him as Okarin, as he is simply tormented by flashbacks of the death upon Makise Kurisu, and also just jumping through various timelines to trying to prevent her death. And honestly, he just failed to the point to where he just gave up because of the sheer amount of stress. It was even clarified in this episode that Okarin hasn't been to his lab in quite some time, where everything in the series originally began at. Ever since the events that happened with Makise Kurisu, he has not visited his lab, you know, at all. If anything, the only place that he has really gone to on a regular basis is counseling due to his mental stress. So, yeah, even his attire, how Okarin looks now, is also kind of different. He has kind of like unkept hair. I mean, he's kind of always had unkept hair as well, but you can kind of see that he does look a slight bit different here. Not just from his clothes, but also in a way his face, at least in my personal opinion. But speaking about his clothes, remember how in the original SteinsGate, Hyo and Chioma had a white lab coat? In this SteinsGate 0, he's dressed in all black, okay? So you can kind of, I guess, kind of see a symbolic-ness right here when it comes down to his attire. In the original SteinsGate, he was wearing the lab coat, not for the sake of that he was a mad scientist or anything, but just because of the fact of his pureness as a scientist. But when you go back into SteinsGate 0 and see Okarin here, it's almost as if, like, the color of his attire has changed due to the effects of science, due to the effects of technology. Something that he thought was purely, you know, entertaining and interesting to him has now left him with stained and, honestly, something that has really plagued with his overall mental psyche. And I know for a fact that probably wasn't the best way to, you know, describe the symbolism between, you know, the white attire and the black attire, but nonetheless, hopefully you guys can get an idea of kind of like the change in character with Hyo and Chioma here. I'm pretty sure someone in the comments down below will give a better, you know, analysis on, you know, the white and the black attire, though. Now, what's also kind of cool about this episode is that not only do we see the returning cast of characters who, you know, I know and love from the original SteinsGate, but also we get introduced to Daru's girlfriend. Now, girlfriend is a stretch, because right now they're not really, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend right now and whatnot, but it kind of leads up to the fact that, you know, this will be Daru's future wife and Suzuya's future mother, because we do see Suzuya in this episode, you know, and we know Suzuya as the future daughter of Daru, and we were always wondering, you know, what about the mother? What's going on with that? Well, here we go. In this episode, we get introduced to the mother, so I thought that was kind of cool. Now, last but not least, I will go ahead and give my overall thoughts on the ending of this very first episode of SteinsGate. I don't want to spoil too much of the first episode for you guys, guys, if you guys are fans of the original Steins Gate or even the visual novels, definitely check this episode out if you haven't already, because trust me, I don't want to spoil the majority of the content within this video for you guys, so definitely go ahead and check out the anime for yourself. But I definitely have to go into my personal and overall thoughts on the conclusion of what we got in this episode of Steins Gate Zero. So what we see at the conclusion of this episode, I mean, we basically have seen the life that Okarin is now living, as he's tormented by the past events that happened trying to prevent Makise Kurisu's death. Now, it is confirmed that Makise Kurisu is back in this timeline, but back in the form as an AI named Amadeus. And simply from what it seems like, it seems as though with the help of a scientific professor, along with a new character that we see get introduced in this episode of Steins Gate named, I believe it was Maho. I believe her name was Maho, and essentially Maho and also the scientific professor that was at the seminar with her essentially created a product in the lab in which she created a system that could literally take the memories of a human and make a projection out of it. So essentially an AI. But not only that, it is also stated as well that the AI has a heart. So a possible AI that can feel human emotions while retaining the memories of its previous life as a human. So at least as far as what I'm getting out of this, but I really am interested as to what is going to be shown in Steins Gate Zero, because just judging from how the first episode was executed, the pacing, everything about the episode, I did not have any qualms with whatsoever. I loved everything about it, and it's just, Steins Gate is an awesome series. I like, seriously, if you guys have not checked out Steins Gate, you need to right now, because honestly, you can't really watch Steins Gate Zero without watching Steins Gate. So if you haven't watched Steins Gate yet, you need to watch that right now. Sure, it's a little slow in the beginning, but trust me, it is worth it. So yeah, I'm not going to go into any more details as to, you know, when it comes down to everything else that was contained in the episode, because, again, I don't want to leave spoilers for you guys. You know how I do my first impressions. You know, I give a general synopsis and give a few details here and there throughout the episode and my own personal thoughts and opinions, but when it comes down to the future reviews of this series, you'll see more from me, trust me. You'll hear a lot more thoughts and predictions and speculations that I'll have for the future of this series very, very soon. And when it comes down to Steins Gate in general, I mean, trust me, there's going to be probably a tons of predictions for anime-onlys out there, and that includes myself, because I haven't played the visual novel. Don't hate. But anyways, what did you guys think of the very first episode of Steins Gate Zero? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Hit the red subscribe button down below if you want to see more. And with that said, everyone, he's a dude. It's a trap. So don't fall for it.